In a dazzling display of American grandeur, the Grand Event Hall buzzed with an electric energy that could only be found at a high-profile fundraiser. The spacious venue, adorned with elegant drapery and glittering chandeliers, was filled with influential figures, savvy media representatives and loyal supporters, all gathered under one roof for a night that promised both spectacle and substance. As guests mingled, exchanging heartfelt greetings and engaging in lively conversation, the atmosphere carried an unmistakable blend of anticipation and excitement. Every corner of the room hummed with whispered stories, shared memories, and the collective hope for a brighter future. At the center of this illustrious gathering, the stage was set for a moment that would soon captivate the audience. The spotlight shone brightly on the entrance and then he appeared, Donald Trump. With his signature confident stride and an aura of undeniable power, he made his way into the hall. His presence was magnetic, drawing admiring glances from everyone around him. As he shook hands and exchanged nods of acknowledgement, the murmurs of the crowd grew louder, each person savoring the rare opportunity to be in the same space as one of America's most controversial and compelling figures. Yet beneath the surface of this public display of success and influence, an undercurrent of emotion ran deep. The event was not just a political spectacle. It was a night of reflection, remembrance, and hope. The room seemed to pulse with the weight of countless personal stories and shared histories, inviting each guest to recall moments of triumph, loss, and the lessons learned along the way. This powerful blend of celebration and sentiment set the stage for what would become an unforgettable evening. For viewers tuning in, this was more than just another gala. It was an invitation to step into a world where history and personal legacy intertwine. As the camera panned over the elegant crowd and caught the glimmer of anticipation in every eye, it became clear that tonight held the promise of a story that was both larger than life and deeply human. Stay with us as we uncover the layers of a night that perfectly captured the spirit of American resilience and the transformative power of personal connection. As the night unfolded and the room's energy soared to new heights, an unexpected moment rippled through the grandeur of the event. Just as Donald Trump was making his way across the crowded hall, exuding his usual confident aura and exchanging cordial greetings with influential guests, a subtle shift in the atmosphere signaled that something extraordinary was about to happen. From the far end of the room, where the crowd's chatter mingled with the soft strains of background music, an elderly woman emerged. Her presence was unassuming yet magnetic, drawing the attention of those nearby. With each careful step, her eyes locked onto Trump's as if traveling back in time. There was a spark in her gaze, a curious blend of nostalgia, warmth, and an unspoken invitation. The murmurs among the guests hushed, and every camera lens seemed to pivot towards this small yet pivotal moment. In a voice that trembled ever so slightly with both emotion and anticipation, she softly called out, "Donald, do you remember me?" The words hung in the air, momentarily pausing the steady rhythm of the evening. Trump, caught off guard, halted mid-stride. For a heartbeat, the bustling noise faded into silence as his eyes searched the woman's face. Then, like a long-forgotten memory resurfacing, recognition flickered in his expression. The crowd leaned in, captivated by the unforeseen reunion. The woman, with a gentle smile, introduced herself as Miss Henderson, a name that resonated deeply within the corridors of Trump's past. She had once been his elementary school teacher, a guiding light during his early, formative years in Queens. In that instant, the luxurious veneer of the fundraiser gave way to an intimate flashback of youthful days spent in a modest classroom, far removed from the glamour of tonight's affair. Surprised and visibly moved, Trump's commanding demeanor softened as he embraced the recollection of a time when life was simpler and lessons were taught with heartfelt sincerity. The unexpected encounter stirred a complex cascade of emotions: regret, gratitude, and even a hint of vulnerability, prompting him to pause and reflect. In that fleeting moment, the public figure known for his larger-than-life persona was seen as a man touched by his own history. The audience, sensing the depth of the encounter, shared in the intimate experience, their collective breath held in anticipation of what would come next. In a blink, the scene melted away from the grand event hall and transported us to a modest, sunlit classroom in Queens, New York, a time when a young Donald Trump was just beginning to understand the world around him. The room was simple: worn wooden desks, faded chalkboards, and large windows that framed the busy streets outside. It was here that the seeds of his future were planted, nurtured by the gentle guidance of one remarkable teacher. Young Donald, no more than 10 years old, was a bundle of restless energy and curiosity. He had a reputation for questioning everything, from the lessons taught on the chalkboard to the very rules that bound the classroom. While many saw him as a troublemaker, Miss Henderson saw something entirely different. She recognized in him a fierce spark, a potential for leadership that could one day move mountains, if only channeled in the right direction. One day, after a particularly heated classroom discussion, where Donald's spirited arguments had drawn both admiration and raised eyebrows, Miss Henderson called him to stay after class. The classroom, usually filled with clamor of children's voices and playful banter, fell into a hushed silence as he sat down, his eyes wary yet hopeful. With a soft yet commanding tone, she spoke, "Donald, you have a fire inside you, a strength that can lead to greatness. But remember, leadership isn't about always being the loudest voice in the room. It's about listening, understanding, and knowing when to stand firm and when to yield." Her words, gentle yet profound, resonated deeply within him as she recounted small moments from that day. How he had passionately debated a math problem and how his inquisitive nature had both disrupted and enlivened the lesson. Donald felt the weight of her expectations and care. The lesson was clear. True leadership required balance. It wasn't merely about winning an argument or asserting dominance. It was about inspiring trust and guiding others with compassion and conviction. In that moment, amid the smell of chalk and the soft murmur of an empty classroom, a young boy's rebellious spark began to transform into a budding desire to truly lead. The memory of Miss Henderson's sincere encouragement grew into a beacon in his formative years. It shaped not only his ambitions, but also instilled in him the understanding that behind every act of defiance could lie an opportunity for profound personal growth. That lesson, whispered gently in a small classroom, became a cornerstone of his identity, a reminder that every challenge was a chance to learn, and every setback an invitation to rise again. If you find this journey into the past as moving and inspiring as we do, please take a moment to like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories of transformation and resilience. Your support helps us keep these heartfelt tales alive. Thus, with Miss Henderson's words echoing in his young mind, the stage was set for a lifetime of trials, triumphs, and transformative lessons. The classroom in Queens was more than just a physical space. It was the crucible where a future icon was forged, one lesson at a time. In the years following that defining day in a modest Queens classroom, the seeds of Ms. Henderson's wisdom took root and blossomed into a guiding force throughout Trump's tumultuous journey. As he scaled the heights of business and politics, the invaluable lessons from his early days continued to echo in his heart, shaping both his decisions and his public persona. Trump never forgot that delicate balance between boldness and humility that Miss Henderson had so gently instilled in him, a balance that proved essential when navigating the relentless pressures of high-stakes negotiations and public scrutiny. Throughout his career, every challenge and setback became a crucible in which his character was tested. In moments of triumphant success, his trademark confidence shone brightly. Yet when adversity struck and critics labeled him brash or unyielding, he often found solace in the memory of that day. A day when a wise teacher reminded him that true leadership isn't about overpowering others, but about inspiring trust, listening intently, and learning continuously. Miss Henderson's words, spoken with tender conviction, became a constant refrain. Leadership is not measured solely by victory, but by the ability to uplift those around you. Even as Trump forged ahead, confronting fierce competition and enduring the weight of public expectations, he carried with him the lesson that every obstacle was an opportunity to grow. The fiery debates, the contentious boardroom battles, and the high-pressure political arenas all served as reminders of the quiet classroom in which he first learned that success comes not from dominating the conversation, but from engaging in meaningful dialogue. This lesson tempered his ambition with reflection, pushing him to seek a deeper connection with his team, his supporters, and even his critics. In quieter moments, when the relentless pace of his public life began to weigh him down, he would close his eyes and recall Miss Henderson's gentle admonition: to listen, to understand, and to lead with both strength and compassion. That memory was not just a vestige of his past, but a living, breathing part of his identity. It reminded him that behind every bold decision was the soft whisper of a teacher's encouragement, a call to never let pride overshadow empathy. Now, as he stood face to face with Miss Henderson in that grand event hall, the layers of his complex persona peeled back for a fleeting moment, revealing the man who had been profoundly influenced by a single transformative encounter. The gratitude and vulnerability in his eyes spoke volumes to everyone watching, resonating as a powerful reminder of the lasting impact that compassionate guidance can have on a young mind. If Miss Henderson's teachings have touched your life too, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What lesson from a teacher has stayed with you over the years? Your stories and reflections are the heartbeat of our community, and together, we celebrate the transformative power of genuine mentorship. Back in the opulent event hall, the atmosphere had shifted from high-octane celebration to a quiet, reflective intimacy. The earlier buzz of conversation and applause had mellowed into a hushed reverence as the emotional weight of the evening began to settle. Donald Trump, still standing in the glow of the grand stage lights, now wore a look that was both pensive and vulnerable, a stark contrast to the unyielding confidence he was known for. Every face in the room seemed to lean in, sensing that something extraordinary was unfolding right before their eyes. In that moment, the reunion with Miss Henderson had not only evoked memories of a distant past, but had also awakened feelings that had long lain dormant beneath the polished surface of power and success. Trump's eyes, usually so guarded, now shimmered with a blend of nostalgia and gratitude as he turned to face the beloved teacher who had once seen potential in a young, unruly boy from Queens. The sight of her, dignified and warm, reminded him that true leadership is nurtured long before one steps into the spotlight. For several long, suspended seconds, the room held its breath as Trump gathered his thoughts. Then, in a voice softer than anyone had ever heard, he began to speak. "Miss Henderson," he said, his tone tinged with both emotion and humility. "You taught me that being bold isn't about overpowering others, but about listening, understanding, and rising above the noise." His words, simple yet profound, reverberated throughout the hall, stirring a deep sense of connection among the audience. Cameras captured every nuance, the slight quiver in his voice, the tenderness in his eyes, as he acknowledged the irreplaceable role she had played in shaping his journey. The powerful admission resonated deeply not only with those who had followed his rise to prominence, but with anyone who has ever been molded by the caring guidance of a mentor. In that instant, the event transformed from a glamorous fundraiser into an impromptu celebration of education and the enduring impact of heartfelt instruction. The crowd, visibly moved, responded with a spontaneous outpouring of applause and cheers, their claps echoing like a chorus of gratitude for every teacher who has ever made a difference. In this poignant moment, Trump extended more than just a public acknowledgement. He offered a timeless reminder that no matter how far one ascends, the lessons of youth remain a cornerstone of character. "I stand before you not just as a man of achievements, but as a testament to the power of a single guiding voice," he continued. His gaze swept across the room, inviting each person to reflect on the mentors who had influenced their lives. I encourage everyone here, if you've ever had a teacher or a mentor who changed your path, please share your story in the comments below. Let's celebrate the gift of education and the beauty of genuine human connection. In that charged, unforgettable moment, the legacy of Miss Henderson's teachings radiated far beyond the confines of the hall, inspiring all who witnessed it. The blend of humility, gratitude, and raw emotion left an indelible mark on the audience, a call to honor the educators who have illuminated our lives, and to always remain open to the lessons of our past. As the evening drew to a close, a quiet yet powerful message resonated throughout the hall, a message that transcended politics, wealth, and fame. It was a reminder of the timeless impact of education and the profound influence that dedicated teachers have on shaping the lives of their students. In that moment, the grandeur of the event gave way to something much deeper, a heartfelt tribute to the mentors who sowed the seeds of greatness in young minds. In a world often driven by the pursuit of success and material achievement, the story of Miss Henderson and her gentle guidance illuminated an essential truth, that the most significant victories in life are not measured by wealth or accolades, but by the strength of character and the wisdom imparted by those who care for us. Teachers like Ms. Henderson are the unsung heroes of our community. They inspire us to dream bigger, push past our limitations, and strive for a future where empathy, integrity, and courage are the true markers of success. The powerful encounter between Donald Trump and his former teacher reminded everyone present that every individual, no matter how formidable their public persona, has a past filled with lessons of resilience and moments of vulnerability. It is through the nurturing and support of those early educators that great leaders are forged. Leaders who, despite the trials and tribulations of life, remember the value of kindness, humility, and lifelong learning. Tonight's event became more than just a glamorous fundraiser. It transformed into a celebration of education's transformative power. It was an invitation to reflect on our own journeys and acknowledge the mentors who have touched our lives in unforgettable ways. As the lights dimmed and the echoes of heartfelt applause lingered, a call to action emerged. Share your own story of how a teacher or mentor helped shape who you are today. If this message has touched your heart, we encourage you to spread the word. Share this story with friends, family, and on social media. Let's honor the educators who have guided us and continue to inspire greatness in every corner of our lives. Remember, every great individual has a mentor behind them, and every story shared strengthens the bonds of our community. Together, let's celebrate the profound impact of education and the teachers who make all the difference.